Hey, it's Yolanda at DryerBuzz. I am so loving that intro, and I'm just loving this tune altogether. And it's actually called Sneaky Shoes. And that got me thinking about an answer of the day. But then I'm like, it's not time for an answer of the day. It is if I say it's time, if I just drop one, if I get like Beyoncé and just drop an answer of the day on you right now. Hey, who knows? It could be the best one ever. When I think about getting sneaky with it, and when I think about Beyonce, we do have that answer book out there called 27 Answers to Rock Like Beyonce. One of the things that we talked about in that is Beyonce can be sneaky in the game. She can be sneaky with it. One, because she has a whole lot of loyalty, right? And I was thinking of some of the things that I was able to do at DryerBuzz and at 27 Answers, Breakfast with DryerBuzz. A lot of things that I did, some of the most successful things were the things that I didn't think about too long. I didn't analyze. I just did it. I just was like sneaky with it. I'm not telling anybody I'm going to do it. Because you know how you get an idea and your adrenaline starts going. And then you let me just get it started. But then you share it with a friend or a team member or a family member. Then here comes all those questions and all those cautions. Questions and cautions stop a lot of people from taking that leap. We hear all the time about take the leap. The bridge will appear. Take the leap. Your steps will be ordered. Sometimes you just have to be sneaky with it. And sometimes you have to be so sneaky that you don't even know what you're doing. You just know that you're doing what it is you want to do. Because sometimes a lot of the questions and cautions are in our own head, right? And I mean, like, how much risk is there to doing something that's going to give you like the ultimate satisfaction of seeing it complete, of seeing the task begin? I'm in the point where I am beginning again, doing answer of the day. That's a new phase, a new series as part of 27 Answers. It's also tied to DryerBuzz and so forth, because DryerBuzz is begin again. But sometimes you really have to be sneaky with it. You just have to do it. Everybody's not going to agree. Everybody's not going to get behind it. Everybody's not going to support it. But you still got to ask yourself, well, why did I get the idea? Why did it come to me? Why am I the one to birth? Again, those are questions. That's not being sneaky with it. Be sneaky with it. Just go ahead and do it. Of course, you want to look at your risk factor. Well, what is the risk factor? Again, to something that is going to get your adrenaline going. Something, it feels good. The minute you had the idea, you probably sat up in bed, you started grabbing one of your journals, you started writing stuff down, and look, it was all falling into place, right? Until you said, well, let me bounce it off somebody. And then they're like, well, maybe you need to check this, and maybe you need to check that. And then guess what? It didn't feel so good. You stopped. You put it aside. You buried it. You pushed it down again, right? No, sometimes you just have to be sneaky with it. I mean, when Beyonce did the Super Bowl, there were so many layers to that the second Super Bowl appearance, the one with Bruno Mars. There were so many layers to that thing. It's like, oh, here comes the HBO special. I mean, in her whole marketing is be sneaky with it. So the name of this tune and the name of the answer of the day is just be sneaky with it. Just get it done. You don't need to tell everybody. You don't need anybody's approval. You just need to do it. And guess what happens? When you just do it, that accomplishment feels so good. When you see it, when you get an idea and you run and you go and you create a website, or you maybe go get a domain name, or you run out and you create a social media profile for it. You go get a Facebook page. It all just starts falling into place. The minute you allow it to come through, the minute you express it outwardly, you don't have to say it to anybody, don't tell everybody, but you just kind of got to let it through, right? And so you go and you check, and the Facebook page is available. The domain is available. The color scheme is great, right? The soundtrack. Listen to that soundtrack. Go back, rewind, play it at the beginning there. Sneaky, right? It's perfect for this answer. What can you be sneaky about, like right now? I'm not saying anything that's gonna like harm anybody. But what is it that you have? Go over and grab one of those old journals or old diaries and just start flipping through the pages. Be sneaky with it. Look at some of those ideas that you've had. before. Maybe, you were a little frustrated during the first time you were trying to try it out and it didn't work. I remember when I did 27 Answers, I actually started out 27 Answers as a book about the Depression. Because we were facing a downturn in our economic system, the recession, and all those things. And then I was like, well, it's a little bit, let me put it aside. Let me set it aside. What have you set aside and you need to go back to? Maybe, you've come across it again. It's everywhere you turn, it's there. You start seeing the keywords all over the place. What is it? What is it that you need to just be sneaky with? And just let it through. Just let it through. I was thinking of that. I mean, I was like, beginning again, and I'm like working on this thing and this 27 answer. And there's something there, but what is it? Because listen, here's the old saying, if you're not building your dream, someone will get you to build theirs, right? Knowing that you've got all the talent and the gifts, and it's easy to go and apply that to what somebody else is doing. And oftentimes we do that because that's a comfort zone. And when we come back and we want to do it for ourselves, again, we start looking at the risk. Here comes the cautionary tales. Here comes the questions. What if? One of the things that I've done through reading and through the book club is the last book that we picked up, the takeaway from it was willing instead of wishing. I'm going to will this on myself instead of wishing on myself. That is an affirmation that I'm going to take forward. I was like, what do I need this year? I need to will more. Pushing this button, recording answer of the day, because here's how I dialed it back. You need to write book 2. You need to publish book 2. Hear it all the time from myself, right? And I'm like, well, book 2 is different, I did the book. I did the ebooks. I've got the blog. I got all. What's next? Well, audio, the video. Drop some stuff on YouTube. Start. What will get you to start? Be sneaky with it. Just start it and then let it evolve. Just start. Get to the start line, okay? Get in position. Get set, as they say. And just go. Just be sneaky with it. Don't wait. Everything might not need to be in place. Everything's probably already in place. But maybe you're looking at it from, like, I remember when I first print published 27 Answers. I had spent 2 years researching what it meant to publish. And the minute I got ready to publish it, the entire publishing industry had changed. It's like, wait a minute, self-publishing is what now? Or blogging. It's funny because I spent 2 years learning how to publish a print magazine. And the internet does what now? Right? It's about starting. And sometimes being sneaky with it doesn't mean just not telling a whole bunch of folks. Sometimes you have to be sneaky with yourself. Like when I come here and I got to record this, I'm like, sometimes I'll just hit the button. Just hit the button, go, do it one take, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to come out of this. When I get to the end, I just press stop. I don't go back and do a whole bunch of edits, because I know that once I start, something's going to come through. And I let it live, because if I had to go back and edit this thing and fix it it would never be finished. If I didn't finalize, you just have to call it final. 27 Answers, an answer of the day. It's literally just ideas. Start the button, put it out there. It may not be the greatest, but it's going to serve its purpose because you let it through. Be sneaky with it and just let it through. There's no risk to that. Just let it through. All right. I was sneaky with it and I dropped this answer on you guys. I hope you're loving it. Listen, this wasn't the first one. There's more. There's some before and there's some after. Stay in our timeline and get yourself an answer of the day. I'm Yolanda at DryerBuzz, the blogger, author, advocate. And of course, the author is 27 Answers.